we've all done it. Whether it's someone's outfit or a mother's parenting style or how our boss handled a meeting, we've all been in that situation where we pass judgment. Within 3 seconds, you've written someone's life story. You know? Judgment is that reflex action where we have an inner narrative of whether something is right or wrong. What do you ladies think about being judgmental?
There are so many ways, because now there's judgment, which for me, my nerd self, when I searched, there were two definitions. You know, the first one being the ability to make a decision or to consider a decision so that you can come to a sensible conclusion, right? And then there's the one that's like a punishment from God, whereby a calamity happens and it's like a divine punishment for something wrong you've done, all right? Then there's being judgmental, which is like having like an overly critical opinion or a point of view of a situation or of somebody.
Rooted in self-righteousness.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that when we are doing it to other people, it's, oh, this is right and this is wrong. So we judge them based on what we are seeing. But when it's ourselves, we pass grace to ourselves because it's we judge the intention.
Yeah, the
Yeah?
situation.
We understand our context. It's always contextual when it comes to ourselves. But when
That's
it's
the
with other
thing.
people, we don't see context.
We don't add that layer.
Yes, of
context.
grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that one statement that irks me every time. When people say, she showed me her true colors. It's always so wild to me. How you can know someone for 10 years and you have one bad reaction and that's your true colors. I feel like,
it's funny, but it's so
will
true.
God forgive you?
Yeah.
And
When
I'm
we have
laughing.
judged
I'm
you.
laughing because I've been there. I've done that. I've caught myself doing that. But also, I've been on the other side where I feel like, really, of all this time that she has known me, this was her takeaway from this situation, without first putting into perspective everything that, you know, our journey. So, it's so funny that it's easier to confess or to talk about having been judged than to confess judging.
Yeah. That's true.
Because we always want to be
The good
looked
ones.
at, yes, as the
The angel.
most logical,
victim.
most
Yeah.
The victim. Sympathy, you want like what? Empathy,
not even
understanding.
sympathy, admiration, more like this is a sensible person.
Yeah.
So now,
Main character syndrome.
yeah,
I find that being judgmental is very reactive. It's the opposite of being aligned. Yeah? Calmly aligned. So, and it's also kind of rooted in insecurity.
But
you
where
think?
does it come from?
I feel like judgment itself comes from a knowledge of right or wrong. However, when you're dispensing the judgment, it's different. You can see right or wrong and just choose to walk away, mind your business. Or you can go a step further and do what the Bible tells us not to do, to judge others. And you even
So
predict
is it land
punishment
land behavior, or is it
of judgment. That's what I'm saying.
it's
It's a common
instinctual,
sense. It's knowledge of right or wrong. But how you use it, your knowledge, whether you use it, you judge from a place of understanding or grace, like she said, of trying to understand the intention, or you come off like judge, jury,
Lawyer, judge, jury, audience.
executioner of punishment, you know?
Yeah.
Because there are people like that. When you see like that cancel culture, when I
Yeah.
see people on internet canceling each other for something someone did 10 years ago, you wrote a tweet all of a sudden you don't deserve to eat, your family should be in jail. It's crazy to
Imagine.
me. I was also watching Big. I know we don't like referring to movie stars. I was watching Sex and the City. You know that guy, Mr. Big. He was giving an interview recently, and he was talking about how he was not convicted, by the way, of any charges, but they accused him of sexual harassment. And in that same breath, before he could, no one, he worked with those people for over decades, over a decade. And as soon as there was allegations, no one called him
I
to
think
hear
over
his side of
20
the
years,
story.
yeah.
No one asked for his side of the story. They just cancelled him. He was killed off. No one called him to say how that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was also during the Me Too movement, where if you don't side with a woman, you're the bad person. You can't question. You're not allowed to question. I think it's because the women are also victimized when they come out. Normally, there was that whole thing of you're as a woman, you're held accountable when you come out. So I think they
You're
were trying
challenged
to, you're challenged. They were trying,
and
so that Me
credibility.
Too movement was challenging that status quo of let's listen to the woman
Believe.
first. Let's
Yeah.
believe the woman on the first accusation. It has its consequences as well
Yeah. It's
because many men are sent to the gallows without due process.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also it's very performative. Like I find like that performative judgment. Like I don't know if it's performative judgment or condemnation. Like all of a sudden I can't like associate with you because it looks bad for my brand. So
Yes.
that is it.
Yeah.
So the world
It
needs to
comes
know.
from what is it called? An evolutionary need to belong. I couldn't help it. Sorry, I'm pulling out the notebook. Banangi. I couldn't listen to this, and I found this so fascinating. When you're trying to figure out where it comes from, why do we do it? Is it learned? Is it survival instinct? So I got to see that it's actually a bit of both, because we are when you look at evolution, it was survival of the fittest, right? So assessing threats and being able to make good proper decisions based on good proper judgment, right? So it was influenced by experiences, learned prejudice. For example, try and think of, say, someone trying to escape a wild animal. And you learn which animal can you outrun. If you're to outrun it, what do you need to do to survive? Do you understand? So that judgment that is good, the one that is instinctual, the one that we actually need to survive, it evolved into now learned things like, because you want to belong to your tribe, or you want to be able to be accepted into maybe a tribe, you start to side with people without necessarily, what you're saying of, without necessarily sitting down to evaluate and weigh all the options. And
You join the side of least resistance.
yes, because of that need. I think evolution, like when you look at evolution, there was a realization that there was safety in numbers. You had higher chances of surviving if you belonged somewhere. So I found that fascinating. I just had to share it. Forgive me, but continue.
Yeah.
So things like judging to protect yourself, and then it morphs into now wanting to belong, and then from that belonging, that feeling of feeling superior and feeling like you're better, you're more, and on it grew and changed. And yeah, and now you've seen how, like you were saying, social media has made it even harsher, easier, because you realize sitting
Faithless.
behind a screen, yeah, when you're sitting behind a screen, you have that courage, of, you have opinions that you can share and break people down and create narratives that for you, you feel you.
So what I'm picking from you, Priscilla, is that it's sort of like a survival instinct.
That grew into something.
Yeah, you're gauging, is this person a threat
Yes.
To
which
me,
is what it's meant to be, the good thing
yes,
for you to survive.
yes.
Yeah.
And so you pass judgment on the person. As
Or
I said,
you're making judgments based off what you've seen, what
what
you've
you perceive,
considered.
you perceive them to be
If
a
this
threat.
person is annoyed and they're aggressive and shouting and throwing things, then you're going to say, I'm not safe with this person.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
like us women, we tend to be petty about it. We're like, oh, this person is beautiful. For example, in the corporate world, a beautiful woman is
A threat.
a bad person. Is a person to be done with, you know. So I tend to see it happening in the
That's when
workplace.
now it's evolved to the point of now it's only your biases. You're not actually using good proper judgment anymore.
Yeah.
It's now based off of bias.
Fear,
It's based off of your own
insecurities.
insecurities.
Yes.
It's based off of, and I don't know, for me it begs the question, with this social media coming, is this the new way of surviving? Oh, it's sickening.
I feel like social media is so loud that it's sometimes hard to hear or make sense of things. Like what
Like
I
you
was saying,
said, that
performative.
performative thing, is that the new way of surviving? Are you now going to do
Yes,
things
because you see
because you
people
see that's what is in,
dropping,
or
like,
that is what is considered right?
yes,
And now you're going to go with the
you don't
with
even
the
have to believe
majority.
it's right. Just because, like I said, path of least resistance.
Least resistance.
Just because you want peace, you know, like,
And taking it back to the workplace as well, yeah. Sometimes when people see that this person is a hardworking person, a go-getter, they become a threat as well. You feel like, oh, this person wants my job. For example, if you report to someone and you're shining, that's also a reason to fight you because they've passed judgment on you that you want their job. You're a threat.
I feel like that one is different from, like, let's say now the judgment in the workplace. Let's say you're a pretty girl and you're promoted and someone just says it cannot be because of her
Her brains.
It's not
She
merit.
She
slept with
must
the
be
boss.
giving favors in the back.
Or she slept with the
Yeah,
boss.
there's judgment like that
Yeah.
comes out of malice and threats, like insecurity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the judgment on social media is you don't even believe what you're believing. Performative. Like, how are you believing
Isn't that the same judgment of what they used to say is was like the witch hunt, when people
Yeah,
would just
yeah.
they get someone
It's a
to
real witch
blame,
hunt.
and everyone just says, okay, this is who we are choosing to take the fall for this.
Yeah.
There's no investigation. We're not going to overthink it. Everyone has chosen this one. That's who we're going with.
Like, you have an opinion, you ask a question and all of a sudden you're a bigot. You're a hater. They throw there's these big words that they use.
Labels.
Narcissist. Like, oh my
Psychopath.
God. There's these big words that they use
As
these
for the
days
word,
to shut you
for
up
the word toxic,
completely.
Yeah,
that
toxic.
toxic
Yeah.
thing that gets thrown around, she's toxic, you're toxic, that's toxic behavior.
Yeah. And as we said, when it comes to ourselves, we know the context. You know why you're doing some things. But with other people,
don't
you don't see
extend
the
the
full
same.
picture and you don't extend the same grace.
So how they were saying, everything, if it's not you, it's cliche until it's your turn.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it being easier to judge others so harshly and extend. But
So much grace.
there are also people who do have you met people who do? I tend to do the reverse
Of judge yourself harshly.
more harshly than.
I feel there's also a judgment. There's also room for judgment of you see something wrong and you say, this is not my portion, and you just
It's not
walk
my
away.
battle. It's not
You
my
don't
fight.
you don't render judgment, you don't counsel, you don't participate in the nitty-gritty. It's none of your business. You just move on.
Isn't that being part of the problem?
Which problem?
Isn't that like seeing someone being walked to the stake to burn them as a witch, and you say, this one, as if Pontius Pilate, I've washed my hands of this. But in choosing not to, I feel like there's also a choice there, and there's also a way that you're in not making a decision. You're making a decision.
Like, sometimes when you don't judge people think you're with the
condoning,
behavior.
yeah.
But sometimes it's just you've chosen to have either to give grace or to mind your business. You don't have to always have an opinion about everything.
Yeah. I also feel like the other thing about this topic is that there's a standard we are setting for others that is unrealistic.
Perfection.
Perfection, like, oh, Amanda should be doing this. Amanda should behave in this way because she's this. So those labels of should be like this, those standards that are not
If I
realistic,
had this, I would be here.
because Amanda is a human being
At the end of the day.
at the end of the day.
Even like parents. I see parents very often demonizing their friends, their kids' friends. Yet sometimes your kid is the spoiler, but you're like, that kid is spoiled.
It's
I don't
spoiling
like
you.
your friend.
Your friends are spoiling you.
Like your kid,
You're wearing
your kid does this,
rose
like, you
tinted
see?
glasses because you can't see. You can't
Because
imagine.
you're
or you can't
blind
see.
to yours. Yours is the one that is raised well.
Perfect.
Everyone else is demonized.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yes. That is something. And there's also I also tend, because I want to hold my kids to a higher standard. I also tend to, I find myself, for example, I'll tell you, like, for my firstborn, you guys, I catch myself and I have so many self talks after, maybe sometimes it's even after the fact. If I'm lucky, it's before, where I have to talk myself away from going hard on him because, something has happened and I'm telling him, as the oldest, I don't believe that you should.
Should. Yeah.
It's a heavy thing. I see like so many times how it affects conversations, and how sometimes he'll feel defeated even before he can start to talk or defend himself. And one of the things that I keep praying to God is to just show me before I utter, for the Holy Spirit to just remind me, just squeeze my hand a bit and remind me, don't, this is a
Don't
child.
overcorrect.
He's a child. He's also figuring things out. He's also
Too many
learning.
expectations.
It's a heavy, like you said, firstborns. It's such a heavy thing to contend with
Yeah.
for them, because at the end of the day, much as he's the oldest, he's a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many times I find myself, guilt laden, like so guilty, and trying to self correct. And also many times when it has already happened and I've already had the conversation, I have to humble myself and go back and say, you know what? I thought about it and I think I was being unfair. Let's talk about it. And then you'll say, but mommy, you don't listen. I feel like you didn't listen to me. And then that's when you will have, hopefully, I think I'm still at that point where he doesn't just throw it in and say, no, I don't want to talk. And I pray that by the time he's old enough and he's at that point where he just doesn't want to be bothered, I have managed to self-correct. I pray.
And life has a way of humbling us. I find that the times that I've passed judgment on other people, within a year or two or whatever time
You're in
frame,
the same
I find
situation.
myself in the same situation,
I'm always
making the
laughing. I'm
same
like, wow,
decisions.
God, thank you for showing
So
me and reminding me and putting me in my
we
place.
should always stay humble.
Because that God complex that we have,
So I feel that it is important for us to shift away from that whole state of being judgmental and pull ourselves into a state of being curious. Because now, when we put the shoe on the other foot, when we're the ones in that situation, we understand our context. So it's important when we find ourselves passing judgment on people,
to seek first to understand.
seek to understand, try to be curious, switch on the curiosity hat,
And
find
delay the reaction button.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And align with what the empathy.
Yeah,
Have some empathy. Understand, try and understand what their context is. Why are they behaving the way they are? Is it a thing of the way they were raised?
The same way
Is
that
it
you
a
would
season
appreciate
they're going
empathy
through?
if the
Is it
shoe
a
was on the other
situation
foot.
they are facing in
Yeah.
their family life, in their
Or is it all
physical?
she's seen? All she knows? Some people do the same mistakes because it seems it's made to look normal, where they don't know any better. Let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also feel like sometimes being overly open-minded is also a problem.
Let's unpack that. I really want to.
No, like, you know how they say that the Bible says like of the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Sometimes that's already a boundary. There's some areas you should know not to try to even
To venture into.
venture into, because you may get trapped. Sometimes we feel like our will, ourselves, can carry us through. And yet, like you said, sometimes it's not because you can't, it's just because you've not been in that same journey, or in that you've been like sheltered in a way. So then you expose yourself to that. You fall into the abyss. The abyss.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you just like you don't have to judge, but also sometimes for yourself, you need to know yourself. I have boundaries. So anyway, that's it for today. Please like, subscribe, comment, and let us know what's happening. What's the new format of judging these days? Do we do it? Do we not do it? Or should we judge with caution and compassion and grace? Bye.